Hey, what's up? I'm Rafael di Furia, aka Rafi D is me, and I'm back at it again on another beautiful Friday night. I'm always getting a lot of private messages from people who are not only thinking about moving abroad, but are also going through the Italian dual citizenship process, or even a dual citizenship process from another country like Ireland. And a number of you have asked questions about integrating and fitting in. Questions like, how do you fit in with the locals? Do you seem to fit in with Italians in Italy? Or do you stand out, and is it obvious you're from someplace else? To answer the question, it really all depends on the person. But before we get too much further into the video, if you would like to see more content like this, please subscribe with that notification bell turned on, and if you could also give this video a like, I would really appreciate it, as it does help the channel grow. And also, if you found any of my videos helpful or entertaining, please consider becoming a monthly patron over on Patreon to be able to help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. You can go to rafaeldifuria.com/Patreon, or you can go down to the more info section below and click on the link there. Where I live in Italy, you have three main groups of people that are from this area. You have German speakers, Ladin speakers, and Italian speakers. But in general, where I live, people will assume that I'm a native German speaker just based on the way that I look. But if I go to other parts of the country, they'll generally assume that I am Italian, but just from the north somewhere, which to me is actually kind of funny because my family is actually from Puglia and Campania. We're pretty southern. I mean, I guess you could even call me a good old southern boy. But people either assume that I'm either a northern Italian or a German speaker, mainly because of the color of my skin and my height. I'm not that tall, but especially when I'm in a place where I'm towering over everybody, they would tend to think that I would come from another area. I mean, I'm only 6'1" or 185 centimeters, so I'm tall-ish, but also these assumptions go usually up until the point that I open my mouth, so they generally don't think that it's my native language. However, what does happen is that a lot of people think that my Italian is a lot better than it is because I actually do have a decent accent in Italian. Although some people do seem to get confused if you're like me and you have an Italian last name and you go to a public office or someplace where they will know your name before they'll know you. So it could be that Signore Di Furia gets called up to the counter, but doesn't parla italiano molto bene. It's led to a few awkward interactions. Even if you don't speak very well, you will find that people do speak Italian at a normal rhythm, at a normal cadence with you. Or like what I've seen people do in America that they also do here is start shouting, thinking that the issue of not understanding is coming from a hearing problem rather than a linguistic problem. And that actually can lead to some funny situations. I was actually out one time with my mother and we were just doing some grocery shopping together, and the person behind the counter said something that neither one of us understood, and we asked them to repeat it, and so they said it louder, and then we said one more time because this person was speaking in dialect very quickly. And the person by the end was just shouting at us, thinking that would help us understand. And my mother and I just looked at each other and we just started laughing, but we didn't want to be rude and make this person feel bad. That just made us laugh more. And then the person behind the counter ended up starting laughing. And then the manager came over and nobody knew why anybody was laughing. And then the manager started laughing. So the whole deli counter at this supermarket, everybody there within a minute or two was just roaring. So you'll get these situations where it may not be a negative interaction, it's just confusing and everybody just doesn't know how to handle it. And it's kind of a strange situation being the foreigner and you just have the feeling like, I'm not deaf, I just can't understand you. It can get frustrating at times, but you have to learn to laugh at it. But as far as the question goes, am I Italian? Am I accepted as Italian? That's a little bit different. It also all depends, but it's very important to remember that there is a difference in being Italian-American versus Italian from the motherland. We've discussed this a little bit in past videos, like where one might actually come from the other. There are differences between the two. And am I personally accepted as Italian? I would say yes and no. It all depends on the person. There's going to be people who accept you and people who don't accept you. It's just all based on who you are and how you are with other people. And maybe if you have an Italian last name and if you have the citizenship, that might help a little bit. From what I've noticed, it almost seems to solidify things more if you do have those things going for you. I realize maybe not everybody will, but there are two sides to the coin where on one level you might be expected to speak more Italian or be more Italian if you have those things going for you, whereas if you don't, then you might have a little bit of an easier time. And even if you don't have those things going for you, you still might get people saying, hey, this guy, he's one of us. But there are even situations, there are people that are telling me I'm Italian, not asking, but telling me I'm Italian. And that could come in situations where it's a little bit more serious or joking. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of drinking coffee. It's fine. It's just, it's just not my thing. Like, I've had a friend say to me, well, I'm not here asking if you like coffee or not. You're Italian. You drink coffee. This is just how it works. So there will be times when you might have interactions with people and they'll start joking around with you in a very friendly way about that, hey, you're Italian. But when people ask me what I am, I would generally be more likely to use the term Italian descent or Italian-American. From what I've seen, that seems to be a little bit more digestible and even relatable for many people. Using that terminology does make a difference in a person's interaction. Like, I've seen people who are Italian-American with Italians here in Italy claiming, oh, I'm Italian, and people starting to roll their eyes. This does happen again because there is a difference between Italian-American and Italian-Italian. And not saying that one is necessarily better than the other, just that there is a difference. And I think when it comes to being accepted, something else that can really help is how you carry yourself and how you treat others. And there are even people that I interact with that I tell them I'm American and they end up becoming surprised, especially when they have certain expectations. And there are a lot of American stereotypes that I just seem to not fit into. For example, the show that we all love to hate, which misrepresents Italian Americans left and right, The Jersey Shore. A lot of people expect that Italian Americans are all like that, or that I'm not from Brooklyn and that I don't have a Brooklyn accent, or that I don't behave in what would be considered to be stereotypically American, like talking loudly or the way that you interact with other people. And even I myself am starting to see what they might be talking about, because even I can spot the typical American walking down the street and they don't even have to open up their mouth. And one thing that can help you also integrate a little bit more is if you can maybe lose or downplay some of those characteristics that might make you stand out more, such as behavior, body language, the way that you speak, or even the way that you dress. For example, if you're walking around in socks and sandals with some baggy cargo shorts and a Hawaiian print shirt, that would be pretty unusual in Italy and would start making you stand out. And maybe you don't care if you stand out. That's totally fine too. But being able to blend in a little bit more might help you integrate a little bit better. And if you just observe the locals where you are, that might help you accomplish this. And there's absolutely no accident that we have the expression, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. There's a reason why this expression is known worldwide. Anyway, as always, this is an open conversation, and if you've been living abroad for a while and you want to share some tips with others, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, or if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down there as well, or you can always reach out to me over social media. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please be sure to subscribe with that notification bell turned on. And if you could also give this video a like, I would really appreciate that. And also, if you'd like to help make more content like this possible, please visit rafaeldifuria.com/Patreon, or there will be a link down below. And as always, I'm Rafael Di Furia, aka Rafi D is me. Thank you for joining me on another beautiful Friday night. Have a great weekend, and I'll see y'all next Friday. Later.